Good afternoon, Tony Dottino, doing my Live with Tony, and Wednesday, and we're up to March 27th, almost done with the month of March and the first quarter of the year. But what I wanted to talk about today is something that just continues to create a little bit of frustration and wonder what more can my team do? What more can schools do? And it comes from a presentation that I had the pleasure of doing today at a university class that had more than 50 students in it. So, this nice auditorium that sits down and where you sit and you rise up so that all the students can see the front. Nice big screen, good whiteboard, well designed classroom. And had more than 50 people in it. And I was there to talk about leadership and what we call brain-to-brain communication. And a lot of brain-to-brain communication starts with people's ability to retain and reorganize information that then feeds the creative process. So that basically leadership's job is to have influence on how do you support and pull the creativity from a group of people. And that's how innovation takes place, and that's how technology advances. So the very first thing that I was asking the students is, have any of you heard of the USA Memory Championship? And sorry to say, after 24 years, I've got a group of 50 plus people, of which no one has heard of the USA Memory Championship. Now, we do this on Facebook, we do this on YouTube, we've been on television, had a number of different programs, and no one of the 50 plus has ever heard of it before. So that's a little bit demoralizing, but more importantly, the question then was followed, well, how many of you have a good memory or think you have good memories? And of 50 people, I'll bet there was less than 10 people, probably 5 or 6 people that put their hands up that think they have a good memory. Well, what about the rest of them? What about the other 45 or so? And so it's a little bit depressing to see that most of the people there did not think they had good memories. And then it gets me to the next question is, well, who thinks that you can learn some skills and you can improve your memory? So who thinks that, there are things that I can teach you in ways that you can learn how to improve your memory? And very few people thought that there was anything that they could learn. In fact, a few of them even shared with me, I've been to a doctor because I think my memory is so bad. And these are college students. Now, I can get seniors doing that. I can get people that feel that they've got Alzheimer's or dementia doing that. But to feel that these are young college students that are already worried about their memories, which brings you to their ability to learn and their ability to feel that they can absorb what their lectures and lessons are. So a little bit of a demoralizing factor to think you've been doing something for 25 years, and we've been on all the major TV shows. In fact, we have CBS that may be doing the 25th anniversary. We've got thousands of people that have looked at our YouTube and our Facebook sites. We saw almost 10,000 people get to the YouTube broadcast of our 24th USA Memory Championship. We're hoping to break 10,000 for this year's event since it's our 25th, and we're out actively moving that ball forward. And here's a small sample in Florida that has never heard of any of it. And worse, they don't believe that they can improve their memory, or they think in many cases they have bad memories. So the purpose of the Memory Championship was to demonstrate to people that there are skills that you can use, techniques that you can develop, where you can in fact improve your memory at any age. And why not start in middle school, if not earlier? Which then brought me to the next bit of dialogue and questions. How many of you have ever heard of mind mapping or have ever used mind maps in your high school and or your college education to facilitate your ability to learn, make learning study time shorter and make learning easier and more long-term? One young woman in the room said, well, I had a high school project on mind mapping, but that was it. I've not ever used it. And the rest of the room was like, never heard of this thing. So I quickly put up a mind map for them and be invited back to teach them how to mind map. Now, these are people at college. Here's one of the most powerful learning tools that has ever existed on the planet. Tony Buzan, who was the father of this, that pushed and publicized and brought this to thousands and thousands of people in the Far East and in England and in Europe. And here we are with a small sample size of college students in Florida, and none of them have ever heard of it, with the exception of one who did a high school project on it. And there's enough of research that's been done on tools like mind mapping that you would think that every student at this age, at this time in their lives, would have learned something about a technique that can shorten their study time and give them more time to go out and exercise or do other brain building events or activities that help them with their mental functions and things. But you would think that by now you would have either at middle school, high school, or even in their early college, somebody somewhere teaching these students some fundamental learning skills that can make a difference in their whole life. And whether it be their college life or their professional life, how many professionals that we've taught this to that have made a difference in their professional accreditations and their learning to get to their next level of education. Maybe they want to go for a master's, maybe they want to go for a doctorate, maybe they want to get a promotion in their particular professions of whatever that may be. And we still struggle to get people to understand things that have been proven through the years that can make a difference. And then, of course, I invited them to go look at the USA Memory Championship website. And if we're here in Florida doing the 25th USA Memory Championship in September at Full Sail University, which is a top-level media communications school college here in Winter Park, Florida. They're welcome to come and observe a memory championship and see the value of these people that have come from different parts of the country to compete for who has got the best memory in the United States. And see if they can advance their own personal learning, their own personal beliefs, their own personal practices on how they can move away from this, gee, I don't think I have a good memory, but I do believe there are things I can learn to improve it. I do believe there are techniques that can help me with my schoolwork, with my profession, with my job. And so it was just amazing to me that 24 years later, getting ready for our 25th event, look, in a room of 50 people, I would hope to get two maybe that would say, hey, I've heard of it. I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen you on Facebook. I've seen you on television. I've seen or I've heard about the event. It's been publicized in a number of different newspapers and magazines. Maybe two, I would have said, wow, that's great. One would have even been great, but we're still working at it. And all it says to me is there's so much more work to do to the core message that anyone can improve their memory. That's even the saddest part, is the students in this curriculum did not believe that there were skills they could learn to improve their memories, and therefore, hey, you either have it or you don't, and it's too bad if you don't have those genes and skills and dendritic spines that help you. You're out of luck. And it doesn't need to be that way, because here's young people trying to learn, and wouldn't it be great to find a way to help them learn better, retain their lessons longer, and do it in a brain-friendly way that facilitates their ability not only to just learn, but then to create and be leaders in their profession. And wouldn't that make a difference in their lives now, leaving college, pursuing their careers and professions? And why aren't we teaching this to our young folks today? And as I've looked at surveys, what's so terribly frustrating is surveys and surveys and surveys is education standards in the United States continue to drop and drop. And it's time we start to think about how we reverse it. It's time we stop getting past our egos or past our personal biases. And when we talk about, God, what's real and what's happening, that we wake up and start to help our teachers, school systems, to teach kids skills and tools that make a difference in their learning, their retention, their creativity, their abilities to be leaders in the work, the professions that they embark on. I'll get better by Friday. I'll get off this soapbox at least for a few days, and look forward to my next Live with Tony on Friday. Have a good week. If I don't see you on Friday.